do this. Hold on one second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, here they are. They're right on time now. That just as we're getting started.
Okay, hold on one second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Talking
Right,
amongst ourselves.
Talking.
Talk.
Blah, blah.
Good talking
All right.
amongst ourselves.
Hey, everybody. To another terrible podcast by comics. I am Eerie Diamond, comedian. Used to be a really good comedian. Whatever. And this is my wonderful co-host, Mean Dave. Wave the crowd, Mean Dave.
Hello. How is everybody?
By comics. All right, that was awesome. Okay, let's introduce our guest for the show. Uriah, you want to introduce yourself? Or just say hi, and then, I don't know. I'm sorry, Dave. I think I messed it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's all ruined.
Everything's ruined.
Show's over. We're done. This is
We're done. Sorry. We're going to start over.
Like I said, Uriah, welcome. Another terrible podcast. That's Eerie. I mean, Dave. We have our guest, Uriah. I always fuck up your last name, and I'm Mexican. I should know how to say it. How do we say your last name?
It's reptilian.
Well done.
And Spanish, yeah.
That's right. So Uriah and Atu Diaba Walker are our guests today. Both comedians who produce Zoom shows as well, and from different different areas of the Bay Area. Both wonderful guys. So let's get started. By the way, just so everybody knows, full disclosure here at another terrible podcast by Comics in Isolation. I didn't get much sleep last night, so if I seem a little off, if you see like dark circles under my eyes, that's why. We were up all night at the AA facility I was at, trying to help somebody that was basically just going to go back and drink. And then I got home at 4 and I realized I drank half a pot of coffee and was not going to get to sleep. Even tried taking a Benadryl, Mom, and it didn't work. So, I'm sorry. So it'll be a little bit of a loopy show today. So let's get started here. Our first segment, as everybody who our regular audience knows, is called Listen Up, where we practice our listening skills and learn about our guests. So basically, you guys give us like about a roughly 200 word or less biography of yourselves up to this point. So we'll start with Atu Walker. Give us your life story in about 200 words.
200 words, okay.
Or less. Doesn't have to be that much.
Okay. Well, I'm a Pasadena kid that moved to the Bay Area in the form in his 20s, and I've been here ever since. I love San Jose. I think it's a nice little town. A nice hotbed and undercurrent of racism that isn't really active, so I can deal with that. LA's racism is a little different. It's kind of more in your face and more problematic, but at least in San Jose, they'll just avoid you altogether. So that works for me. I don't get to Oakland much, mostly because I don't get to Oakland much. So don't ask me about Oakland. And then in general, I think I'm a nice guy, but then there might be reports that I'm an asshole somewhere. I'm sure there are some reports of that. In general, I'm a peace and loving individual. I believe in feminism for whatever reason, because I'm okay with being a man and being always wrong. So it's okay. I'm wrong. I fucked up. I'll try and improve. I'll work on it. I'll read a book or two. I would suggest any books. If you haven't read books, I read a lot of books and the news. That's something about me. Am I 200 words up? I feel like I'm giving in general description instead of any specific information, but that's fine. You don't need to know specifics. Maybe you should. I do have a child. I do have a baby mama. I do have a mom, and my dad's dead. So that's specific information, I feel like. And then I like to hang out with people and talk a lot. That's why I'm a comedian. I have opinions that I think people should hear because I think it'll save them time in life. If you apply some of my theories I believe you'll save time talking to people that you don't need to talk to, and find more comedian friends, because they're amazing people. I have to say, some of my best friends in life are comics, and some are comics and they don't even know it. And I use their material all the time in my shows. So thank you, friends, that give me material because of the shit you do at work. But that's really me in a nutshell. I'm gonna use this. I hope this has been recorded because I can use this for my Tinder profile later.
It is.
Say, are you reading your match profile or are you just winging it?
I was just off the dome.
That's how I talk. If Mean Dave knows. Yeah, that's how I talk. I don't know any other way.
Eerie, Atu, Eerie, because you two may have met like once or something. Yeah. I didn't know if you knew him or whatever.
I think you've done a couple of my shows, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you guys
know. Yeah, we've been on a show. I just don't think I know you. I just don't know you very, like, we haven't sat and talked or anything cool like that.
I want to give credit where credit's due, because the Listen Up segment is designed to specifically not be interrupted. And Eerie, myself, hey, congratulations, co-host. We didn't interrupt our guest. So there you go.
I think I paused.
Good for us, dude. Can we do it?
You guys got to. It's an ongoing problem we've had, and we've been working on it. And this is growth.
Let's do a high five, Dave. You and me. Let's do a high
fucking five right there.
Five right there.
All right. So up next, we could fuck it all up right here though, because this is our next guest. Uriah, is it Jacquez or Jacquez or come on, man, help me out here.
You gotta. No. Jacquez.
It is with the HJ. Okay.
Yeah, the HJ.
Uriah Jacquez, everybody. Here he is.
What's up? Can I get a high five too?
High five. You got it.
Yeah. And from everybody else too. Come on.
You do it on the side though. Like I'll do my It doesn't matter.
I feel like I'm slapping a lady's head.
Yeah. Now it just looks like you're slapping Dave's mom's head.
Oh boy.
Okay, go ahead. Go. Yeah. Uriah, would you like to describe yourself in 200
words?
2,200 words. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, I've been here in California for half of my life, and so I've been here 20 plus years, and the other half was in Texas, El Paso.
Wow.
Woo! All right, let's give it up for El Paso. Lived there, and then I decided let me head west to California, and lived in San Diego for about 5 years. And I liked it there. I mean, I love the ocean, I love the water, and I came to visit the San Francisco for years, and I fell in love with the area, and I love the people, the area, and I was like, wow, this is really, really diverse. You know, being in San Francisco, and then I moved to Oakland, and I was like, wow, this is really diverse, which was even better for me. And I was like, hell yeah. And so I've been doing comedy for about 5 years, and really loving it. I have a family. I have a son and a wife, and we're trying to hang in there during COVID. So hopefully there's no divorce happening anytime soon. Yeah, it's like, but which is pretty normal, right? Right? I'm hoping it's normal. But yeah, we're hanging in there and just raising a kid. So that's my take.
Right on.
Question: how old is your kid?
He just turned 4 in August.
Right on.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
How old's your kid, Atu?
7.
7? All right.
Yeah, 4 years old, man. They say terrible 2s. Not terrible at all. 3s, it got even more terrible. Now 4s, it's just hardcore hyperactivity. So
seen that, yeah. My buddy Mike Bucci's got a I think a 5-year-old, and and she's a terror. Oh God.
Oh man.
So I wanted again, well done there, Uriah. It's this really sucks though, because I had a lot of questions about Oakland for Atu. But he said he doesn't answer those. Anyways, but that's
shit about Oakland.
Beside the point. Our next segment, it's been an ongoing general segment of the show, is since we are in the COVID times, and that is, how are you holding up? How are you holding up in this? You kind of touched upon it, Uriah, so we'll start with you. I like how you mentioned, you acted like you don't know the status of your marriage. Like you've only been in the house with your wife, I assume, this entire time. You're like, I hope it's going well. I wouldn't even know. But so how are you holding up through the shelter in place and everything this summer?
We're holding up pretty good. We're holding up. Let's just say that. There's more arguments than not. With the whole family dynamic happening, but it's pretty normal. It's not anything crazy. So. But today it's just like hot as fuck,
we're getting to that. We'll get to that. We got a whole segment to talk about.
Yeah, I was even like thinking of, because I threw out my back right now, and then I have my son who's a terror right now. So I was even like, I'm in a basement too, and so at least it's a little bit cool. But I was like, oh man, I might have to cancel this podcast, and I didn't want to do that, but.
Thank you for working through the pain. Thank you for yes.
Yes,
this is a good time to Eerie, grab your Venmo sign. This is a good time to hit up our people so we can buy some pain pills.
Yes. So I took some ibuprofen for my back.
Atu, what?
Do you know what's going on, Eerie? You just drop in again? Grab your Venmo sign, because that's I was trying to push the Venmo now that Uriah's in pain, so I'm trying to guilt trip our audience.
Oh no, Uriah!
Good job.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Guys, if you love us, if you love people, please Venmo us at Evelyn Eerie Diamond, because we could use your money. Luis, I can't wait to get your 3 cents, man.
Actually, he's been requesting money from our shows these days.
Yes,
he sent a request for $250 to Nina on Thursday.
Hold on, maybe. Oh, there we go. Yeah, and if you want
there we go. That's a sweet background now.
You could put Venmo to you, Jack. So there you go. No, but I'm drinking. I'm drinking now. I don't drink as much, but I'm having a beer. I was like, oh, okay, and some ibuprofen.
Cool. All right, man.
To try hanging during this hot ass day.
All right, let's hope Danine's laptop doesn't crap out. She's one of our biggest audience members. Let's move on. Atu, how are you?
Yeah, what up?
Shelter in place.
You know what? I have to work every day. So thus far, I've had 3 COVID tests, and then various people are having to go out and work from home and shit. The funny thing is, like, if you test positive, in my line of work, you might have to work. So I don't know.
What's your line of work? What are you?
I'm a building engineer.
Oh, interesting.
Never knew that.
Yeah, interesting.
Never knew that. Was you also omitted that from your bio, so I feel a little hurt.
Well, I mean, sometimes what people do is not important. Like, my job is like if I was to be like a lawyer. Like, some lawyers don't tell people they're lawyers because their client life is different. So I think that's probably the reason why I don't often share. Plus, I can't really talk about work. I can talk about like social situations, but I can't talk about shit that goes on in my work, because I did that one time and somebody was filming, and then I got written up at work because of it. I can still get terminated because of it. I did Tourette's without regrets, and I talked about. Yeah, I did Tourette's without regrets, and I talked about a HR situation, and I got in trouble.
Oh wow! Look at you.
Yeah.
That happened to another comedian that she had a show. She was a teacher, and she had a show, and apparently she got fucking fired for her jokes.
Which one was this? Do we know her?
Rachel D said that she.
Oh
actually,
yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. I can see that. I've heard her jokes. She gets a little raunch. Well, what's her name? Melanie, our audience member, did her set at the drive-in show, and she was she did she researched whether or not she could talk about pussy on stage. I believe. Is that right, Melanie?
As we all should.
Yeah, I think she made sure
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it was scary.
That's right. So she checked and she got word. Funny thing is she has a coworker who's also named Mike Bucci.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and the producer of our show is Mike Bucci. So somebody was saying like, well, you're going to talk about it with Mike Bucci there. They didn't realize it was not the same Mike Bucci. So it was kind of a weird coincidence. But yeah, no. I used to work at Zynga, which is this awful shithole of a company that used to. I mean, it was actually not that bad, but it would feed you alcohol, and I was doing a lot of drugs at the time, and so I'd work and be happy and all that kind of stuff, and then they're the kind of place that like feeds you alcohol, and then later it's like, I think you might have a problem, that kind of shit, and so I remember I was paranoid because I had their software on my laptop, and I would do my podcast talking about Zynga from time to time, and for whatever reason, somehow, because they have a hacker team, I would see my non-disclosure agreement pop up in my downloads automatically, and something told me that they might have been spying on my laptop. But I was also, again, I was on a lot of drugs at the time. Might have just been paranoid. Don't know. And it's just one of those things.
Damn.
All right, so on to a more fun subject. Let's get into some fun here.
Can I ask something really quick?
Not at all, Eerie. You can't ask any more questions.
Zynga, dude, that's like, wow, I didn't even know that.
Okay.
Go ahead, Eerie. What was your question?
How are you doing, Dave?
I said earlier, I'm sorry. I've been, I haven't had any sleep. So like I said, I'm kind of a little bit in a fuckery zone. So if I'm a little off, yes, if I sound a little weird again, it's like, look at the circles under my eyes. Look at that shit, man. You can just see them. See, look at all that.
Yeah.
So, we had good, I was on two very quality Zoom shows last night. Erie's Saturday match game that we did, that was a lot of fun. It actually went really well for the game itself. It got really competitive. We were answering questions correctly. Like, it was strange. Normally we don't do that. And then we did a fun riffing show for Chelsea Bierce and Miles Weber, where we literally talked about balls for about 30 to 40 minutes. And
that sounds like fun.
Shaving your balls.
I mean, it was. I'm glad an audience was there. It wasn't comfortable for me because it dealt with ball maintenance. I'm glad my parents weren't there, but I'm still talking about it now. And it was just one of those things. We got into grooming and all that shit, learning way too much about. Then not only that, I was at a barbecue at Ben Del Castillo's place, and there were some other comedians there, and so they were joining me, and they were standing behind. We were looking like, it looked like we were having a COVID party, literally, because everybody's there, no masks, all that shit. And then also one of the guests was a friend of Ben's girlfriend Jen, who is a transgender, who came in, and she's a rather tall black, transgender woman in a
right in the middle of the ball talk. Right in the middle of the ball talk.
Right in the middle of the ball talk.
We were balls deep in the ball talk.
She comes in and says hi, and then I think Chelsea or Miles, somebody asked, like, do they shave their balls? And I'm like, that's not the question you really should be asking right now. So yeah, it was, I always get caught in these weird, triangulated places of, just uncomfortable area.
Which brings us to the next question. Uriah, do you
I know the name of that trans woman.
Do you shave
Shantae. Yeah, Shantae.
That lady used to live where I work.
She was very nice. I just met her once. Don't know much about her, but I'll take your word for it.
She had a cute dress on.
We have our next topic here. Again, happy subjects. Did you guys sink the Trump boats? What have you guys been doing all weekend? Because as you've heard, there was some boats out in the water. I think it was in Texas. So Uriah, did you go to El Paso? Did you sink these Trump boats? 5 of them sank.
Yeah. So after, so as you guys know, I'm from El Paso. Went out there because I knew there was a parade happening, and so we decided to plant some things that would sink the boats for sure. For sure, we sank the boats. No.
Uriah, stop. No, actually, no one watches our show, so it's fine.
Wait. Yeah.
We got a wonderful audience watching our show.
No, I mean,
nobody that's gonna indict him is what I meant.
You mean gotcha. As far as a crime is concerned, nobody's gonna believe you.
Hold up, is that the FBI? Oh shit, no. CIA. No, I mean, would have I sunk the Trump boats? Probably not. We all have
their own doing. I really just think it was their own, tough shit luck. I mean, look at those waves. I mean, they just had a fucking hurricane. Like what are you doing on the water?
Yeah, that's so crazy. Was it like it was right off of the Gulf of Mexico, right? I'm guessing.
I don't read about things anymore. I just check the headlines and I grab the pictures and then we talk shit about it.
I saw the headlines as well, and so I was like, oh.
Like an American, I stay uninformed.
My Facebook feed, yes. That's how I saw it. I didn't, I usually click on these interesting links, and for some reason I didn't click on this one. So I'm glad we're both in the same boat, so to speak.
Oh, no, we don't want to be, I don't want to be in the same boat.
That wordplay. That was some wordplay from Uriah there. You see that? Full circle.
Yeah.
Oh, can I ask you,
I knew those boats were going to sink. Because all the ghosts from the dead slaves that died on the transatlantic slave trade, that's what affected that situation. So just remember that we control the ocean. That's where the hurricanes come from. That's God's punishment for all the bullshit you pulled, because it happens in that same area. So I appreciate the spirits that are out there, making sure those Trump-ass boats sank. I want it to happen again. I want to see it on repeat. I want these fools to learn their lesson and leave me the fuck alone while I'm trying to pick some underwear at Target.
So let me get this right. Let me get this right. You're blaming it on slave ghosts that live in the water. Got it.
Aquaman is black? Is that what it is? Aquaman, is it like
no,
come on, man.
Ghosts. Let's not be stupid.
Ghost thing. It's like
Pirates of the Caribbean type ghosts, but they're slaves from the ones that died at sea.
That makes sense.
Calypso.
Pretty clear.
Boom.
Yeah.
Calypso from the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Exactly. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, that's what you're talking about. That is, I have not seen
theory. It's good theory. I think that holds water. Holds water. See that one, you're right? See that.
Why? John Carpenter's The Fall. I want to say thank you to Deneen. She donated to us. Thank you, Deneen. We appreciate it. All of us do, because
much appreciated.
We are
our next topic.
But I do want to send thoughts and prayers to them. Thoughts and prayers.
I'm going to actually intercede and block those thoughts and prayers.
You're blocking the thoughts and prayers?
Oh my God, it's like playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm a spiritual
goalie. How many dice did you roll?
Block those fuckers right off.
Oh my God.
No.
I'm making phone calls to my voodoo priestess.
Shouldn't be out there during the COVID time. They should be sheltering in place.
I feel like we're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Even though I went to a barbecue yesterday. Thoughts and players. Exactly. Very, very exactly, Denise. Our next topic, a little bit more of a touchier subject, because this is, again, tying into what our I don't like referring to him as our president, because, not everybody really felt like the president that's there right now.
Yeah.
Do you think veterans are losers? I tried to find ones that kind of looked a little, loserish. I was looking for a photo that would fit, because they're very proud. I mean,
did you actually Google loser veterans, or?
No, I just looked up veterans and I was trying to find ones that Trump kind of fit, because as you've heard, it's been, not only that, this isn't fucking news. He said this shit like years ago. He was calling veterans that died in a certain area, losers, and he's basically just been disparaging, veterans, which is ridiculous. And I'm somebody that's like, I think it just goes without saying, you know, I have a level of respect for people in the military, even though I don't want to do that shit. People want to do it, please do. Some people do it because they have to, because financially they can't do it, all that kind of stuff. So I just want to get everybody's take on this. So the question is, do you think veterans are losers? I'm going to say
right.
no. Hot take there. Hot take.
I don't either. I have veterans in my family, and they're not losers. I mean, maybe later when they get back.
Well, I have a veteran uncle who is not a loser because he's a veteran. He's a loser because of other reasons.
Right. Exactly.
Probably the fact that he's a veteran is the best thing about him.
Yeah. Exactly. I have a veteran Marine in my family, and
same here. Yeah.
And he's a fucking Marine, and that's awesome. I mean, he's definitely far from being a Marine right now, but he was. I think it's rad that somebody can go and do that and have people shoot at you and tell you what to do, and you're doing it for what I can't. That's too heavy.
You learn how to kill somebody in 7 seconds. I believe that's what the Marines are good at. They train.
But isn't it kind of neat that like you were like, I'm a Marine? Like, I think it's kind of cool. But
I think I told my parents if I dared join the military, which I would not do because I'm scared shitless and I hate bullying. But if I were to, I would go to the Marines because that's usually the hardest, and I always go the hardest road to do dumb shit. So,
to do dumb shit.
Yeah.
All the Navy SEALs that pass start off as Marines usually.
Yeah, they're selected Marines too. Those are selected. It was funny because when I used to work at a corn dog stand, it's like I grew up working at a corn dog stand. My boss, Jim King, used to tell me that Navy SEALs, he was friends with some. He goes, you think that the guys that are like that become Navy SEALs are like, big guys, athletic guys. He goes, no, it's guys that look like you. They're lean. They can survive, because he told me like their whole 7-day trip of their last trial, they have to like go through this whole course. They sleep like 1 to 3 hours, or I don't know what the fuck the deal was. It was like, he was basically just telling me that you're resilient. That's really what the overall thing is resilience.
Can I just tell you, one of the coolest people I know, and he works for Google now, which is weird, but he was a fucking Navy SEAL, and they would just drop him behind enemy lines alone, and then he would just go and like find all the bombs and defuse them. And this was the skinniest little tiny death rocker you've ever met in your life. Like, this was he was like 100 pounds wet, and he was like this bleach blonde hair, and just would like, and like doing the most dangerous fucking job on earth. And we were just like, yeah, you can be a Navy SEAL and be 100 pounds wet, but just be the smartest motherfucker in the world. Like, he is. Anyways, I just think it's fucking crazy.
Their whole thing was
like,
endurance.
Yeah, they were like,
someone catches you. Red Berets, all those guys, it's all about endurance.
They were like, if someone catches you, bye. Like, that's basically what they
Uriah, I know that there's peer pressure here because we've had 3 people say they're not losers. So if you're going to be the one who says yes, that's going to be.
Man. Is going to be awkward. I mean, is that? No, I'm kidding. No, I don't think they're losers. Hell no. I have plenty of respect. I have family in the Navy and I think the Navy as well. But no, man. Just to follow up what you guys were saying about Navy SEALs, yeah, I knew a Navy SEAL guy as well. I lived in San Diego, and my ex-wife, she was in the Navy, and so I met, military, and yeah, this Navy SEAL guy, he was skinny, lean. You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know. It's interesting that you guys are pointing that out, because in the movies you see them, they're like really big and buff.
Yeah, they have an image to protect, which is a level of propaganda.
Right. I didn't think of that.
But it's good. It's part of the whole underestimation process, and they can skin you with a pen alive. That's
right.
It's the beauty of how they operate, man. Simple ballpoint pen.
Yeah.
Take you apart.
And then write a poem and pin it to your chest. Yes.
Right.
amazing. Like,
They're so diverse. They're diverse.
Glad that we could find some unity and a unanimous decision here, because that's just one of those things where it's been the biggest thing that of all of the things that our current president has said and done, this has been one of the biggest factors. Like, people have tweeted and reported that, like, veterans who had flags, Trump flags, going out and taking them down and throwing them in the trash after they heard
good,
them.
man.
wow.
So
that points to like a real like
Wow.
lack of education behind their decision making. You know, all of the decision making that you're seeing here in this situation where people are saying that he has said the most wildest shit
no
that any
shit,
president
but
has ever said.
not only that, but this was
And
already
this is the thing
reported
people
on.
trip off of?
This was already reported on, and it just had to be reminded. It's like he said shit about John McCain years ago.
Yeah.
He said this shit like years ago, and it's just being reminded.
You know what? I think the Democratic strategy is like playing out right now. Like, we're seeing what their real game is, because they dropping bombs and they're not even like taking
just
credit
trying
for it,
not to do anything. Actually, they're just trying not, like, Biden's being quiet and going to nice places and just kind of like, laying low and just it's really just feed the motherfucker with the rope.
Just let the shit keep hitting the fan and see who gets a speck in their mouth.
It's
like,
a comedian
that's
strategy.
like what's going on right now.
Comedian
that's
strategy.
what I feel like.
Hand him the rope, let him hang himself.
I was gonna say, what is that thing? Give him enough rope. Yeah.
Yeah, So.
But the other thing too is I agree. I have a brother in the military. Mm-hmm. You know, he did years in the Army. My dad did years in the Army. Like, all of my family members, we have every representation of everything we got. I got motherfuckers in the Coast Guard. I got people that did Job Corps. I did City Year. Like, I got people in my family that's done all them government programs, bro. Like, somebody in my family that works for the State Department. I can't even tell you where that motherfucker is. But like, like, when they tell you they work for the State Department, they either work for the NSA or some other shit. And
the IRS.
The IRS, any of that fucking shit. You know, I work for the State Department, motherfucker. You're getting federal dollars. You're getting that free healthcare. You know, did you guys know that everybody that works in the federal government has free healthcare and pension? You can work 20 years in government and make 80% of your salary for the remainder of your life.
Wow.
All right. Well, that was
all it takes is 20 years working for the federal government. They're our largest employer.
Wow.
All right. Well, that was a good advertisement to work for the state, everybody.
Get infiltrate, motherfucker. Like, let the rules loose.
All right. Well, I got to say, this has probably been our most patriotic segment of the entire.
Let's move on.
Another terrible podcast by Comics. All right. So moving on. This next topic, I think is very relevant because you guys both have embraced and ran Zoom shows since not too long after all this stuff started. So just wanted to kind of check in. Are you experiencing any level of what I would call Zoom fatigue in running shows?
Well, I haven't run a show in a month, so I think it's time to run a show again. But I try to do it bi-weekly or even 3 times a week, and then I was like, okay, then that's when it was almost fatiguing for me, because I'm the only one that's like producing and also, just running the show. There's some comedy shows that have like a couple people running the show, like actually like 3 people, one that's hosting, one that's producing, and one is running the background technology portion. I'm digging it. I mean, it's just a new medium for me. And I know there's some comics that were just like, no, I'm not going to do a Zoom show, but now they're like diving in.
Yeah, They have no fucking choice.
Yep.
You have no choice.
They're finally showing up. They're finally showing up. Like, yeah.
And it's weird. It was weird. I mean, when we first started doing a Zoom show, it felt like an open mic all of a sudden, all over again. Right? That nervousness and
because it's new.
Shit.
And then the whole thing.
The whole thing, yeah. And then trying to run it, by yourself, it's kind of hard. But now I've learned a lot by running a Zoom show because now people embrace like this different medium, and you got to figure out how to do it. Like people, sometimes it's like what is it called, a prop comic, where I'm bringing out props and just trying to. It's different. It's like you got to be part of a TV show in a way, and then you got to use these expressions where you're like super excited, or you can't just be like, when you're on stage you can be more yourself, but when you're on a screen you have to be like more animated, more angrier, happier, whatever. And so I'm learning stuff like that, and I'm digging it. It's cool. So I
try new things, man.
I think we're gonna all if we do Zoom shows, we're gonna be in Hollywood because we have already practicing being on the screen. And
that was my saying when people were resistant at first, because a lot of people that were resistant, I'm like, you guys have been making unwatchable content for online for years, and all of a sudden you're drawing a line in the sand. Like, this is not that bad. And it's one of the things that I'm fortunate that I had a good introduction into it with a good show that, like, with people, and I saw the potential, and and Eerie and I already had a podcast that we were doing, and I just thought this would be a great way to adapt it and have something to look forward to each week. And then Nina G and I spun off and did one as well. And but the coolest thing about it, I find, is it's not just I don't know, it's because these shows are more interactive. We've got our audience that I kind of joke that it's like a support group, but it really is. We get to look forward and talk to each other and kind of check in each week, and I get to see my folks on this, and it's been really cool. And and what's funny is I've seen shows where they have multiple producers. I actually talked to one yesterday, and they give up after like 2 or 3 shows, not getting immediate results that they want. And whatever. iPhone's really kissing your ass, Evelyn. That sounds like Sean Boyles again. Sean Boyles was iPhone yesterday, and this guy's, whoever iPhone is just blowing smoke up your butt in the chat right there. And I'm,
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I don't know why you're mad. I'm not mad about it.
Because no, Sean knows how to push my buttons. If it is Sean,
is that what it is?
Could be.
Let me see if it's my dad real quick.
Too. No, because iPhone, your dad never chimed in that much.
You're right. He never chimes in.
Never really did. No, he was quiet watcher.
He's a very quiet watcher. You're absolutely right. Okay.
Too. What about you, man? Any Zoom fatigue over there with the caravan?
Yep.
I mean, I think when I first started booking that show, it was like I asked a bunch of people, like, hey, do you want to do it? And I just kept asking, and then like these wild ass lineups would end up happening, and so I have like a lot of popular people on at once, and I forget that I do that a lot at the caravan. So there's some equity in it, but also at the same time, like, it had that same effect. Sometimes you get some flat sets, or especially at the beginning, like a lot of people didn't know how to approach, the Zoom situation. So I think it was good because, like, after a while, you saw people like getting good at it. Like,
it's fun to watch people struggle again, though. It's so much fun to watch people struggle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like watching good comics bomb. Great.
It's fun watching someone who thinks they have a big name, like, really, really have a hard time. Like,
that is fun, actually. I do like that.
But the real thing is,
I do like big name. Yeah, I'm with you there. Man.
And then the other thing is like when you hear them try to explain themselves out of it at the end, like, well, fuck Zoom shows, and I'm like, no, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know. It's fun to watch, I think.
I love watching Joe Rogan shit on the idea of Zoom shows while he has the longest blowhard fucking YouTube show.
I don't understand people that can listen to that dude for 3 hours. I really don't.
I enjoy some of his episodes, but it's more because of the guest. I don't. Yes, Luis, I am like the Joker. I do love to just watch the world burn, literally. And
okay.
So
Yes. Yes. Dave is someone who has said stuff like, I book people on my show, even if I don't think they're funny, just because I want to watch them struggle.
Yeah,
Oh, great.
I give people a chance. Well, here, let me point this out.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate your thoughts.
Atu and I know. I've known
friend.
Atu since I started, since I was still drinking. I started doing comedy, and Atu. It's funny when he was saying earlier about some people may think negatively of him. When I first met Atu, and when I first used to do his room at the Brit, couldn't stand the motherfucker.
Oh,
And he knows why, because he would put his lineup. I thought it was a book showcase, and then people would tell me it was an open mic. And it really was kind of like whatever Atu decided it to be at any given point in time.
I would fuck with people a lot.
And then Atu would put his lineup together. Like he would be like, all right, he would. This is my impression. He would be like, all right, Dave, I got you going third. And then he'd walk away, and then he would come back right before I'm about to go third, and he goes, me and Dave, I'm changing you. You're going ninth.
I literally did that too. I literally did that to like everybody.
Oh my God. It happened so many, not so many times. I went there here's the thing again, what was cool about it, this was before I even got in recovery. I learned something about comedy like early on, and it was from kind of people like Atu, where I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Like, why can't I just get a straight answer and they stick to it? But later on, after I kind of avoided his room or something like that for a little while, we ended up bonding. It was at a band show of Pete's brother, I remember. Yeah. And I was broke, and you bought me a beer, and I was so moved by that. Again, this is even in the disease. I still remember acts of generosity that was not earned, and I was like, Atu's a cool motherfucker because I have not given him any excuse to be that generous, and he bought me a beer when I was broke, and I ever since then I'm like, I don't care what Atu does, he's cool in my book, and so it's funny how that works. So
no, you know what? None of that stuff was on purpose. You know what would happen to me?
You were drunk, motherfucker. I know.
No. I wasn't always drunk, but yeah, there was lots of times I was definitely drunk, and every now and then it's like, you know how you book the show and then people tell you they're coming and then they don't show up and then they show up.
Yes.
So that shit would happen all the time.
Yeah.
And it was always a random Monday night because you really didn't know who was going to make it out. So I would always have to overbook. And then it fucked me up one night because they got like 30 people on one night. 30 people on, 100 people in the audience. Like, it was crazy.
No, there wasn't 100 people at the audience. He's joking.
No, 15,000. We used to book to the gills.
Britannia Arms. Man. It was my favorite. Actually, my favorite night. I've told you about this before. My favorite night of you doing that. It was the open mic. You came up to it. You were like, guys, we don't have that much time. So what you can do is you guys can go up there and do a joke off. Just do like a few, they did like a couple rounds of joke off. So we did that. We did a couple rounds of whatever. And then you went up there and you proceeded to spend 15 minutes proposing to your girlfriend at the end of the open mic. The girlfriend that was always on the laptop, never watching the show. She was like the Foghorn Leghorn kid that had no interest in anything that was going on. And it was a very heartfelt. You were pretty hammered, but it was a very heartfelt proposal. Thank God she accepted. Then, even though I don't think it worked out in the end, but it just made for a happy ending that night. And yeah, so it was one of those things. I'm like, this motherfucker took 15 minutes to propose. We could have had sets, and he could have just given like a 5-minute proposal. It was just like, man, what the hell? So thinking like a comedian. Anyway. All right.
That was a fun night.
All right. So Zoom fatigue, nay. All right, we're doing good. You know what? I'm going to skip the next one because we're running short on time, and it was really just a dumb question. I thought it was where
I thought that question was great.
I want to use the background, though. I want to show the
cops?
background of what the next question. You can just answer this short, like a short answer of this. Are cops shooting you guys? I really like this background.
Dave, let's start with you. Dave, let's start with you.
No cop has been shooting me. No, as a matter of fact, oddly enough, I have 2 Facebook friends that are cops, and one of them liked my cop joke about after the BLM protest, saying that if you want to make a cop know how it feels, just step on a donut in front of one, and make sure it's a jelly one so you can see the blood. And my police friend Ronnie clicked like on it. I don't know. He might be mad at me too because I've commented on his post and he hasn't clicked like. So we might have some tension. He's a BART cop though, so I thought he had a sense of humor. So who knows?
A BART cop?
Yeah.
Not really.
It's a real cop.
Cops don't shoot me. So,
cops not shooting you. How about you guys? Cops shooting you at all?
I think they should be shooting us, Dave. I mean, aren't we the rapist and what else that Trump says? The rapist.
Don't be agreeing.
Come on. I'm just saying.
Excuse.
I almost got shot. I almost got shot by a cop.
Proven guilty.
You almost got shot by a cop. Wait.
I almost got shot by a cop.
In San Diego. I bet it was
San Diego. That's right.
It was San Diego. I fucking knew.
Yep.
No,
I was on the freeway. I was on the freeway early morning, driving home, and a cop pulled me over. I'm like, all right, one cop pulled me over. I guess I was speeding. Next thing you know, other cops are showing up, and then these unmarked cars showing up, and they're like telling me, "Put your hands on the wheel." And I was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Okay." And they actually pulled out their guns on me. And
wow.
Yeah.
What did they think you did? What did they ever tell you?
He looks like he's got a few robberies planned. Like, look at the guy, man.
Look at that. It's the barbed wire.
Like, Grimes used to get. Yeah, I know. I have a brown husband, but
it was a mistaken identity. Mistaken identity.
They never said like, "Oh, you look like someone" or whatever. But,
that's exactly what happened. Yeah, they said that I looked like somebody. They mistaken yeah. They apologized and everything.
Wow.
But I had guns. I had guns pointed at me.
Have you ever heard anybody apologize to you, baby? Nope. Sorry.
Have you ever had a cop apologize after not treating you right?
Oh, me? No.
Yeah. No, I didn't think so.
Yeah, usually what cops do when they fuck with me, like they double down and then bring other cops to keep beating me and then put me into jail and then put up trumped up charges that I have to fight and then like almost like go to jail for 10 years. That type of shit happens to me. So I don't know about, the rest of you guys.
That's terrible.
No, that actually happened to me. That happened to me. Yeah. 2013 on my birthday.
I remember your post about it. Yeah, I do remember that.
Jesus Christ, that's awful.
So, but are they shooting at you today? Are you okay today?
I'm really. I drive a Honda Pilot, so they don't even know where I am.
That's good.
I got an invisible white girl vehicle. It was either this or getting a Subaru, but I thought a Subaru was too flashy. So the Subaru was a little too flashy for me. So I got a Honda Pilot, and the windows are tinted from the back. I have an Uber sticker. They don't fuck with me.
Yeah, honestly, if you have a flashy car, you might as well be driving a jelly donut. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, don't. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
I'm not Cardi B. I can't show my wet ass pussy.
Ooh, we've had that discussion here before.
We have had that discussion.
Yeah, we know. Absolutely. We know what a WAP is. All right.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. By the way, that's. I mean, it's just terrible. I'm so sorry.
It'd be nice if those cops apologized, but they're punk ass bitches. So if I had actually decided to fight them, there might be like 4 dead cops, and then people might consider me like a folk hero. But I have a son that I wanted to raise, so I decided not to fight him.
Yeah. Well.
That's good thinking, man.
Yeah, I do love. I would like to mention, if you guys weren't here earlier when we first got on, I love that you look like you're laying in your own lap. I think that's delightful. I think it looks like you're being. Yeah, I just think that's great.
Well, I mean, you also look like a serious father of yourself. Like I mean, I looks like serious
Yeah.
version.
Like, aren't we all? You know what I mean? So.
All right, we got wrapping up one last thing before we wrap up. Let's just talk about it because I know it's on our minds for a minute here. Let me get the background for this fucking thing. Where the hell is the proper background to talk about this heat? All right, here we go. Gonna talk about the heat.
Oh my God.
So we're all in the 100-degree weather. And it's, you know, it's like being caught between a rock and a hard place, aka Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. And so what, you guys gonna be okay through the heat, everybody? What do you think?
I'm probably gonna die.
You're gonna die?
Next, Uriah.
Yeah, it's 95 degrees over here too in Oakland. Yeah.
Must be nice. 95.
Yeah, they're calling us like giant pussies right now. Like,
No, man, we don't have air conditioning. Do you have
I
air
know,
conditioning?
neither do I. And can I ask you something? Is this a real room or is that your background? Is that a real room?
It's my background, but it is the room that I'm in actually.
What the fuck?
You did something on the Caravan Lounge show. You used a picture of yourself as your background. And you came into it. Like let's see if he does. Let's see if I can do it.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah, let's show him your trick. Yeah, see, there he is right there.
So
oh my God, that's so creepy! Don't do that. Stop doing that.
Look at that. Look at this. Is what he did. Oh, look what he's doing. Look what he's doing.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
I'm just tying my shoe. Come on.
Yeah, it was a little gag he did. That was pretty funny. And the thing is what he did with that video, that's what Zoom bombers do. They get a video of somebody that like looks like they're watching the show while they have the audio of doing saying some fucked up shit. So that's,
are you serious?
Yeah,
I want to start Zoom bombing people. That would be
Zoom bomb. When we got Zoom bombed, we had like a couple of like they were elderly people that were watching the show. I'm like, we get no elderly people watching this show. And then these kids were just saying a bunch of dumb shit. And I was like, it's got to be these profiles. So I kicked them out. The funniest, I wouldn't say even funniest one, but somebody bombed the match game when we were doing it. And the guy was eating a pickle really loud on his microphone. And it turned out to be this guy with a YouTube channel who was filming us. And he used it. He has like hundreds of thousands of views. And he Zoom bombs doing dumb shit eating a pickle. So it's it amazes me that that has such a large audience.
It wasn't as funny as the actual show, and I was kind of mad about that because I feel like go for it.
I said, I think I was. They even had me on camera talking like I think it's this Luke guy or whatever the fuck it was, and so I'm famous. So,
yeah. Atu, where are you, man?
Atu,
there you are. You're in a pool. That's awesome.
Look at that, man.
Backstroking.
Oh,
damn.
That's great. We got a tip from Melanie. Thank you so much, Melanie.
Thanks, Melanie.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Yes. How are you doing in the heat? How are you doing in the heat, sir?
I'm actually liking it. I'm seeing a lot more middle-aged women at Costco take risks with their outfits. So that's fun to witness. You know, like since people don't have to go into work, you're seeing a lot more old ass yoga pants. Those ones that you can still see through. So that's fun. So I mean, my deliverables are high. I'm losing weight. I'm actually eating more. I'm eating better because I'm not eating out as much. So like, the heat has made me feel better about being outside in warm temperatures. And I don't stink when I sweat because I stopped using antiperspirant. So now I'm fully Bay Area. I'm a Bay Area person. I eat vegetables now. So I think it's not a problem, I like to eat. I'm from LA. I don't know why. I don't know.
Wait, can we go back? You don't use deodorant? We got to stop.
I don't use deodorant either. So what?
You don't use deodorant?
I don't use antiperspirant.
It causes cancer. The shit causes cancer. I found that out from comedian Lydia Popovich. You know, and she's a woman, all right, who went on stage, and I watched her perform very confidently her set with mad armpit stains in her dress and all that. And I had to salute that shit, because she's a very proud woman.
Any perfume or deodorant? Are you you know what? That's okay. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Like, you want candles to smell nice, or you want to just deal with life and deal with nature on nature's terms. That's how I see it.
I do coconut oil and then some other stuff. It's really good. Essential oil.
You do stuff to help with the smellies. Okay, good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't wear deodorant
Well,
either,
showers
but
also
she
help
needs to.
too.
Really?
But she needs to.
She does. Even my son tells her. He's
I
like,
made a rule: if I go somewhere, I just take a shower first, no matter what happens. Like, if I'm, no matter what happens, just if I'm gonna go somewhere, take a shower first, and then you're good to go after that. Really, you got like 5 hours before it gets funky.
I occasionally put on deodorant. Occasionally, on special occasions, I will do that. All right. Well, we have reached the tail end of the show here, and want to thank everybody for always chiming in and being a part of the show. I want to thank our guests, Uriah Jacquez and Atu Walker, for joining us. I want to thank my co-host, Eerie Diamond, here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining in every week, and we'll be back next week with another couple great guests. Hope to see you here, and have a wonderful rest of the weekend, everybody.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really
thanks
appreciate
for having me.
Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate you.
Love you
Yeah,
guys.
thanks, everybody.
Great
Let's
night.
go take a dip in the pool.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Hey, send us your Venmos, you guys.